Dead Space 3 is a third-person action thriller shooter featuring a campaign that can be played either alone or cooperatively. You play as Isaac Clarke, an unlucky engineer who at this point has survived several horrific encounters against reanimated and mutated monsters known as necromorphs. After spending months in hiding from government officials and religious fanatics hell-bent on stealing the cryptic information hidden in his brain, poor Isaac is dragged out by his collar again into his crazy reality to find his ex-girlfriend and put a stop to the necromorph infestation once and for all. What stood out to me with this final installment were two key features, one being that you can play through the whole campaign and additional missions with a co-op partner, as well as the ability to build your zombie dismembering machine from the frame of the gun right down to its power core, allowing for a surprisingly detailed level of customization. Isaac now uses materials and parts found throughout the environment to construct and improve his weapons as the game progresses, as opposed to buying them outright like in the previous titles. This new system is impressive, but the flaw with an overt freedom to customize is being able to construct overly powered weapons which make the game's combat situations completely trivial. The previous two games featured these unique and varied weapons such as cutters, mines, and javelin guns to strategically dismember the monsters in order to deal damage effectively, but in this game all you need to do is arm yourself with explosives and most enemies will die in one hit. The difficulty of the enemies has been scaled to accommodate this, but it completely buggers the game's pacing, as tougher enemies which would otherwise be found later on in the game are thrown in early to present the illusion of a challenge. I personally don't regard it as good form to continually compare the quality of a game to that of its previous titles, but in this case it was hard not to. As the final game of a trilogy, I was expecting a solid ending to an otherwise brilliant franchise, but instead was greeted with an array of new characters that I was supposed to care for and weak plot points to tie it all together. Yes, Dead Space 3, I was expecting tension and drama between these space buddies while they were being hunted by horrible mutants, but I didn't ask for it to be sourced by a crappy love triangle story. The addition of the co-op meant that the game needed more mechanics to make it feel like you're actually playing with another human being. Most of these are door opening puzzles which are fun to complete with another person, but doesn't translate well into single player. This is also the case for the co-op partner character introduced into this game, John Carver. His presence makes sense when playing co-op, but when playing the game solo, he tends to just pop up without notice. It's unpolished, and it feels really tacked on. But what disappoints me most about Dead Space 3 is the whole lack of survival and horror. Looting the dead for real this time corpses spews out more than enough health kits to keep your HP at a comfortable level, and the ammo is now universal for all weapons. This makes inventory management almost non-existent, save for holding onto gun parts you find lying around until you find a place to drop them off. It's an action-packed rollercoaster designed to thrill, not to spook. When you take away the horror and the atmosphere from this franchise, you're left with a mediocre third-person shooter filled with weak jump scares, and playing this game cooperatively makes all sense of dread and isolation completely disappear when you have a Z-fighting pal to watch your back. But it was at that moment the game's publisher, Electronic Arts, turned around and said, "Do you know what this game really needs? Microtransactions!" And that's how the series died for good.